name is Rrajat. I come from India. Insights Lighthouse is a very growth-oriented, very insight-driven platform. This little time that I've gotten to know of the platform, I think it's very encouraging for people who are really looking at accessing information which has been curated, tabled in a way that would help them and encourage them take the right decisions.
How we got to know the platform was rather interesting. We work with Deepak Chopra, and we helped him to give the morning address here in the event. That's how we kind of got to know more about the platform. I'm organizing the Finnish Flow in Davos. I have the big event tonight, but this was a fun way to get to know with the Lighthouse people, and we are very keen to explore further.
So you're both Davos veterans then, I take it?
Well, we've had our rounds here.
What makes it such an event worthy of revisiting for you?
My approach is very different than Rrajat. As an organizer, I've been building and developing the Finnish Flow brand and kind of organizing programming for the leaders attending Davos. I think the key insight there is that you keep showing up. This year is our fourth year. Over 2,000 people applied to our programming, and we can take in only like 120 people. It's been a brand building exercise and consistent effort to come and push the bar every year higher and higher. But why we are now here is also our collaboration around cybersecurity. Maybe Rrajat can elaborate a bit about the rather fast growth of the Verasity, how we are now exploring the collaboration when it comes to cybersecurity.
It's been a few years, and every year there's something interesting and something special about Davos. You can't put a finger and say this year only this is what caught my attention, or like last year something else was there that caught my attention. It's a very interesting confluence of people who come from all walks of life. Not necessarily everyone's agenda driven. Someone's just floating around to get an idea of what this place is and what it means to you. For us, essentially because we work across industries, cybersecurity or technology happens to be one of them. My idea really every year is to interact with interesting businesses, and especially looking at how people with new talents and new opportunities are always looking for platform. And that takes me back to when I was starting this off 20 years ago, and how the first thing that you really wanted was to have a conversation with someone, and that was already a great opportunity. So when I look around and I see people expressing themselves in various ways, and Davos is of course grown as a platform. It continues to grow every year. For us as a company and for me individually, it's an exercise that helps me understand the wave of the water in very many ways, and also tells us what is that is, let's say, shifting or changing on a very yearly basis. It's common to believe that we are in very dynamic times, but I think times have always been dynamic, but just the only difference now is with change in the era of technology and the information available at the drop of a hat on your cell phone screen. Literally the world's there, right? So you consume so much information. How do you decipher what information is valid for you and what isn't? There is where we think the necessity of you to be very aware of what is your right and what is it that you should look at towards your security. Could be data, could be privacy. It's a whole gambit of things, of course. But for us, it's very important to bring that conversation always and keep that in the loop of how you should be slowly and steadily be more aware. And then we can take the next steps on bringing that awareness into the form of a tool that you can use on a daily basis and keep yourself secure and easy and stay happy.
According to Deepak, that's the thing to do, right?
Absolutely.
Stay happy and healthy. What were some of your key takeaways from this morning, spending the time with us here at Insights Lighthouse? Is there something that stuck with you out of all of the things that you've heard?
Our time was quite limited, so we were mainly just following Deepak's session and the reactions it created. We both come from the backgrounds where we look at things very holistically. I think what I saw in the room, his speech really resonated when it came to the happiness and the well-being us as professionals and how that reflects to the results. It's not a new topic, but it's always interesting to kind of hear that kind of reassurance.
See how it resonates with a new audience.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that you're looking forward to still in this week in Davos, aside from the Finnish forum?
Yeah. So obviously that we look forward to deliver the event on a high standard tonight. But for us, the focus is really in growth of our cybersecurity venture Verasity, looking for ways to partner up with different platforms and clients. In that way, take the cybersecurity further also in the Davos.
I think Risto's covered that very beautifully. I'd only very subtly like to add that within the scope of the remainder of this week, of course, Finnish flow, I'm sure it'll be a stellar of an event. The next few days, meeting some friends and meeting some colleagues from different industries. But yes, the focus pretty much is how do we better the product in terms of just regular conversations that we have. That is always greatly educative for us. How do we come to a place where cybersecurity is not just a buzzword, it's something that's really well understood and very well implemented, because our target really, or our task really, is not to scare you off or not to tell you what could be a very difficult situation in someone's life, but to explain to you how this could be avoided, how we could bring preventive measures rather than treatment measures at a later date. And that also perhaps comes from the fact that, as he said, we both come from a background where we believe that inwards is an interesting place. When you are on that journey, you always realize that if you're aware, you would take good preventive steps rather than having to then do things which normally would just be an aftershock of instead of.
Kind of a better safe than sorry.
Absolutely, yes. Always is.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Good
Thank you
luck.
so much.
Thank you.